Based on a report that we saw just 2 days ago, it looks like the Pixel 10 Pro, 10 Pro XL will have the same cameras, especially the same primary camera, as the 9 Pro series, the 9 Pro, 9 Pro XL. I broke the bad news to y'all yesterday. It looks like the Pixel 10 is actually going to take a step back and might have the Pixel 9a camera in it instead of the same one that's in the Pixel 9. It actually would be a downgrade in that department. And I want to talk about cameras in this video, and particularly the S25 Ultra versus the Pixel 9 Pro XL, Pixel 9 Pro, and then the Pixel 10 series that's coming up, because I think there's an important distinction that needs to be made here, because there was an argument I was throwing out yesterday talking about, is it okay? Is it okay to use the same camera sensor for multiple years? And I think that the Pixel 9 Pro XL, the Pixel 10 Pro, I think are an illustration on how it can work. And I think the S25 Ultra is a instance, or the S25 series in general is an example of how maybe it's not so good. So this is what I want to talk about in today's video. Now, when it comes to the S25 Ultra, it's got the same 200 megapixel camera as last year. And I'm going to talk about a website that I consider, or most people consider, the smartphone, the camera authority when it comes to rankings. And they go through a lot of meticulous criteria and rigorous standards when they look at this stuff, and they evaluate the selfie camera, the primary camera, the video capabilities, and they come up with rankings. Now, this is just one thing to look at, but they're kind of like the gold standard, are the main people out there that rate these cameras, right? So let's take a look at these numbers. The Pixel 9 Pro XL, Pixel 9 Pro, are ranked first in the United States for their camera and second globally. The S25 Ultra is ranked 29th globally when it comes to premium smartphones. That's terrible. When it comes to global premium smartphones, Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is second. S25 Ultra is 29th. And the S25, S25 Plus are even further down the road because they've got older, less capable sensors. Now, when we talk about using cameras year over year, the S25 Ultra used the same cameras that was in the S24 Ultra, effectively. The same 200 megapixel. I know we got the upgraded ultra wide, but really, it's basically the same camera setup. So when you use a camera year over year, the thought process is here. What happens is the upgrade takes place with the image signal processor and also with the processor itself. So we get a new chip every year. That means that it's more capable, it's got more AI capabilities, it should be better at computational photography, and the interpretation of the photo that it turns into the digital image with the image signal processor should be better. So when we take a look at something like that, the Tensor 3 with the Pixel 8 Pro, it's still ranked in the top 10. It is still ranked, the Google Pixel 8 Pro is ranked 13th. So we went from 13th, like now it's 13th. The Pixel 9 Pro XL, same camera, ranked second globally. So we can see that there's an improvement even if you use the same camera. But then we take a look at the S25 Ultra and the S24 Ultra, and those are ranked in the late high 20s and even higher than that. And I would have to scroll. The S24 Ultra is ranked 32nd, S25 Ultra ranked 29th. So, I mean, they up a couple of spots, but really not that much. The S25 Ultra is ranked behind the iPhone 16, which has two cameras. Two cameras. Let that sink in for a minute. So, we're talking about this versus a camera with the phone with two cameras on the back, and this is twice as far down the totem pole. So that's a bad illustration. And word on the street is we could see the same 200 megapixel sensor in the S26 Ultra. So I mean, it's not without merit that people think that these cameras in here are not the best. Now, again, this is just numbers. I happen to like the way the photos look with the S26 Ultra. I think it takes better nighttime photos. I went and used some phones at a concert recently. I had the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I had the S25 Ultra. I felt like the S25 Ultra did markedly better. And, of course, it's got 8K camera capabilities, and it's got other stuff that goes along with it. So I don't always agree with these numbers. But I mean, even taking a look at the OnePlus 13. So many people are like, oh, the OnePlus 13 is the best camera that's out on a smartphone now, better than the iPhone, better than the Pixel. These people are ranked in the 40s. It's like 43rd or 41st or something like that. 35th. Yeah, they say 35th in ultra premium, globally 46th. So, I mean, a lot of it is subjective. You know, a lot of it is beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So do we really care about numbers that much if you're happy? And that's another thing that we can discuss in this video. But I want to talk about this because some people are upset. Some people are upset about having the same camera over and over. So I think it's fine to use the same camera 2 years. It can even be done 3 years as long as it's done right. And what I care about is the end product. Are we getting a better camera? Is it improving? Is it better? And we see that with Google time and time and time again. They had the same camera for like 4 years. The Pixel 3, Pixel 4, Pixel 5. They finally changed some of them with the Pixel 6. But then the Pixel 6a had the same camera. And then the Pixel 7a, I think, might have had the same camera if I remember. No, they changed it. But anyway, so 4 years, basically the best camera you could get. And it was all done by computational photography and the processor. So when it comes to Google, I don't have as much heartburn. I don't have as much heartburn if they say we're going to use the same camera a third time, because they've done this historically and still had the best camera you can get. And then on top of that, I mean, they've demonstrated, right? It's just one of those things where you look around with the iPhone. Yeah, they don't have the best. I mean, yes, the iPhone 16 Pro is basically it's right behind the Pixel in these rankings. The iPhone 16 Pro Max comes in at 4th. And it's only 1 point, one whole point behind the Pixel. So basically you can consider them neck and neck. But then you still have those green little orbs that show up every time you try and do video and photos at night. I mean, that really pisses me off. So no camera out there is perfect. A lot of people don't even think that the Pixel is the best. They look at it and they go, oh, it's over sharpened, it's over processed. It doesn't have as natural of a look. And that's one of the reasons why people like the Samsung ones. A lot of people still think that the iPhone still can't get skin tones right. It still makes you look overly red or overly flush or overly orange in certain situations. Nothing is perfect. So let's lay this foundation when it comes to smartphones, smartphone cameras. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. So now that we've got beyond that, I want to talk about this because it's frustrating when companies do this and they don't really improve that much. And that's what we've seen with Samsung. Even last year, the S24 Ultra was in the high 20s. It's about the place that the S25 Ultra is now. So it's not about throwing numbers out there. Clearly, the 200 megapixel is not winning hearts and minds, and clearly, it's not winning the camera competition. And it's the Ultra phone. It's $1,299. $1,299, and they're 28 places behind the Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL. They're 27 places, 28 places, but behind the iPhone. Samsung needs to do better. It's not the sensor. You could do stuff with the same sensor, and we can see improvement, but they're it's very stagnant as far as their improvement. They're just not making steps. OnePlus, I think, has come a long way, especially with their collaboration with Hasselblad. And then Samsung, it's like, okay, we'll use the same camera in the S22, the S23, the S24, the S25. And it's going to be ranked in like the 40s, in the 50s. It's just not that good. So here's the lesson. It's not about the sensor that's in there. It's about how it's utilized. It's about how well it's exploited. It's about how well the hardware and the software gel together to give you the best experience possible. Google is capable of doing that. People believe iPhone is capable of doing that. And that's where Samsung needs to pick up the pace. They need to improve on this, and I would love to see that happen. So, if the Pixel 10 or the Pixel 10 Pro, Pro XL have the same camera for a third year, I have full confidence it's still going to be ranked number 1, number 2 in the world, and that's okay. That's fine if you can do that. And the other secret sauce behind all this is when we talk about the new camera, we go to the Tensor 5. It's going to be built by TSMC, and it's going to have the first ever Google new image signal processor. See, the Tensor is built off of the platform of the Exynos processor by Samsung, and they use that Samsung image signal processor that's built into the chip. So even with that image signal processor, even using the core foundation of an Exynos processor made by Samsung in their fabrication shop to build the Tensor, Google is still able to use its wizardry and be ranked the best camera, second best camera on a phone in the world. That stuff doesn't happen by accident. It happens because they know what they're doing. It happens because of the excellence they have in their camera department. So I don't have a problem if they're going to do it a third time. I really don't. I don't have a problem they're going to do it a third time. And if they're going to use their own image signal processes this time, it should be even better, because that gives them more control. That means they can design this and build it from the ground up, working with TSMC to integrate that image signal processor to give us the best camera experience possible. So I think it's fair game. I don't care if they use the same camera 4 years in a row. If it comes out and it is better and it is still the best. If you're not better, if you're not the best, if you're just maintaining the status quo and you're charging $1,000, $1,200, $1,300 for a phone, then no, that's why it gets criticism. Nobody really sits around and criticizes the Google Pixel camera. They're like, oh, yeah, it's the best one again. Shoot, gosh darn it, we can't beat those guys. They've been using the same camera 3 years in a row. When you have the same camera for more than 1 year, it gives you the opportunity to build on it because you don't maximize that camera sensor. It's just like consoles. Like when the original Xbox came out, it was kind of clunky, and then a year or two later, it's a better product. Like the games that you're able to play, the expertise from the software programmers in the coding, and just exploiting the hardware, by the time those consoles are 2, 3, 4 years old, they're playing and making better games easier and running better and looking better than they were when they first came out, because it comes down to they understand the hardware, they understand how to make it the best that it can be, and then that's what the end result is. So when you have a company like Google that's doing that, they know what they're doing. When you have Samsung, it's kind of a little on the problematic side. Now we're looking at this, we're talking about numbers, right? Like I said, I still think that the cameras on here are fantastic. Doesn't matter that it's ranked 29th by these DxOMark people. Well, that's something that either you can put stock in or you can't. There is stuff that I think is markedly better on the Pixel. I think the selfie camera is definitely better. I think the zoom and maybe in the nighttime in some instances is better with the S25 Ultra. I mean, you also got 8K video recording capabilities, 30 and 24 frames per second. You don't get that with the Pixel. I mean, we've got video boost, but we don't have true 8K recording capabilities. So, I mean, there are different flavors and different things each brand brings to the table, and that stuff's important. What I was pissed off about yesterday is you shouldn't go backwards. You shouldn't go backwards. You shouldn't take the processor, you shouldn't take the camera that you've already got and then put a worse one in there in the next phone. Yes, even if you do your crazy computational photography wizardry and make it look really good, that's still cheapening the phone. That's still giving you less than they already gave you. And then it's just, yeah, it's a smaller sensor. It's not going to take the same level of quality of photos. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. The iPhone 16 Pro, it takes good photos for the most part. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, it takes good photos for the most part. The Pixel, it takes good photos for the most part. You can't go wrong with most smartphone cameras now. They all take pretty good stinking photos in most situations, and I'm happy about that. But when it comes down to brass tacks, when it comes down to what is important, to me, ultimately, it's what's the end result. What is the end result? If you, as long as you maintain the status quo, like don't go backwards. And I was pissed off about Apple before because when they started this with the iPhone 14, they're like, oh yeah, we'll put the new chip in the Pros, but we'll give you last year's chip in the regular one. Like that rubbed me the wrong way. Taking last year's hardware, or not even that. I mean, like I said, with the Pixel 10, they're talking about going backwards with the camera. I can't really abide that very well. If you're going to use the same one, at least make it better. Samsung has a hard time doing that. Google doesn't. So I think it's important to look at this where the rubber meets the road and see what the end result is. But at the same time, you need to make sure you get what you pay for. So anyway, that's kind of the whole gist of the video. I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of conversation going on about this stuff right now. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into making good image. I mean, it's the camera, it's the lens, it's the image signal processor, it's the processor itself, it's the computational photography, like all those things working together. And then the person taking the photo ultimately is how you get the best shot whenever it comes to this stuff. You can have two people use the same camera and get two different photos. There is still some craftsmanship when it comes to taking good photos. But anyway, that's my 2 cents for the day. That's what I wanted to talk about. Feel free, go to the conversation. We'll take this to the comment section. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.